Nothing. Actually, when I was on these ships, and I was also another time, I was in a cave system. All I could see was cave walls, light emanating from outside this cave in this entrance. I didn't see lights or anything. All I saw, I was lying on a table. I couldn't move. I could only move my head to the left and to the right. On the left, I saw these two little creatures, and they looked like, the way I describe them, is like little marshmallow people. And they had black round eyes. They were totally white. They were about 3 feet tall, and their heads were turned like this, looking at me. I turned to the right and saw two more of them, and then that was it. They shut me off. I had woken up again. It was not a dream. I had woken up again, and they had shut me off.
They're in the film, in their own words, UFOs are real. There's an encounter that you talk about, which it was one of the more troubling ones. Not that, you know, they're all troubling, basically.
They were all troubling.
Yeah, they're all troubling. But this is the one where you're driving home and you know you're going to be switched off. I want you to drill in to that familiar feeling of where you know it's going to happen. Walk us through the story and then tell us about the missing time and what happened afterwards.
It's hard to explain when you're just driving home. You've finished work. It's a nice day out, clear sky, everything's, you're like, I would say maybe 10, 15 minutes away from the cottage. Beautiful day, you can have a barbecue. The next thing I know is I'm passing the Tanaga exit, which is 10 to 15 minutes from the house, with no discernment, and immediately I know the feeling, because it's happened numerous times, just being slowly shut off. And by saying slowly, 4 to 5 seconds, think of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then nothing. Nothing, and there's nothing I can do about it. Just being shut off. And the next thing I know, that's like 6 in the evening. I was off of work at 5:30. When I finally looked at my watch, it was like 10:15, and I'm being lowered in this beam of light, this massive, powerful white beam of light in my car, just vibrating. I had wet my pants. I could look out. It was only a little 300Z turbo Nissan, so it wasn't a big car. I could look out the left side of the door down, and I could see the treetops. I can put things in perspective. It's like driving your vehicle off the 50th floor of an apartment building in pitch black and looking down and seeing the trees. And I mean, I was just vibrating uncontrollably. I'm surprised I didn't have a heart attack. The car actually, and people, and I understand this, but it's supernatural. The car did start itself. You could see the lights go on, the dash lights, the headlights go on. You could hear the motor running, and the car was steering itself on these winding roads. And I'm just looking at it, like, what the, you know? And then all of a sudden, something came over me to calm me down, and I started steering the car, looking, where the heck am I? It's pitch black out, and I looked at my watch. I had pulled to the side of the road again, looked at my watch, and I had like over 4 hours of missing time, just gone, absolutely. So I made it home, and then I fell into the fetal position, because that encounter was the last major encounter. I had another really strange one, and I'm going to tell you.
Up. Everybody in that room knew something was up. That's what's at stake here. Next slide. If you're a little queasy, don't watch this. So here we are. And the reason why we did this is because the skeptics, oh, there's no such thing as implants. These are bicycle parts from a childhood injury or BB guns or whatever. Nothing to do here. Keep moving on. That's what the skeptic will say. We're saying, no, it isn't. We've got Gauss meter and CAT scan and X-ray and other scientific instruments which we use to show that the object was there, giving off 333 gigahertz. It was there, it was real. There's the incision. Next slide, please. Here we open it up. Next slide, please. There we find the implant. Next slide, please. Now we're starting to take it out. Next slide, please. And there's the implant, about the size of a pencil lead, and it's encased in like a rubbery substance, which you only can cut with a razor knife. And we took it to Seal Lab and we opened it up at Seal Lab and put it under a scanning electron microscope. And what we found there, when we go down like 50, 80,000 times, we see like what look like little nerve endings. And perhaps this is how it docks to the human nervous system and it empowers. We believe, now get this, why are they doing this? Well, it's a tracking device, LA. Well, maybe. It's so much more than that. Is it possible that this implant
they take eggs from people, as you can see there. They take sperm from people. Now, this is an interesting little kind of sketch here. The important thing about this sketch is not that they're taking sperm, but that there's an abductee there who has walked in to comfort the person who's having sperm taken. I've heard this many, many times. This is not uncommon. I've heard this from people who say they are comforted and from the comforters. I went into the room and I told this person lying on a table that everything was going to be okay. They said, this is an abductee talking to me. Here's another, this is sperm taking with neural engagement. I showed these same slides last time, so they're new to some of you, but not at all. Where they're staring into a person's eyes. Now the question is, what do you mean staring into a person's eyes? Well, I talked about this in the book The Thread, which is already getting a little bit long in the tooth, but still pretty good.
Z całego serca swego, ze wszystkich sił. Pan Jezus przyniósł miłość. Przewrotnie diabeł w Kościele, to moi drodzy tłumaczy, ostatnio w Wiedniu 1 grudnia, w pierwszy piątek, kardynał Szybor o 22:30 zrobił mszę świętą dla wszystkich genderowców, lesbijek, etc. Najgłośniejsi przywódcy nurt czytali na mszy świętej, czytali słowa. Ten taki piosenka, że nie może, mówi święty Paweł, chłop z chłopem żyć. Zaprosili cała telewizja, chór wiedeński śpiewał rekwiem Mozarta, bo płakali nad 30 milionami ludzi, którzy są zarażeni na AIDS. Ale nad czym oni płaczą? Nad skutkiem, a nie nad przyczyną. Nie mówią o grzechu, tylko mówią o skutku. Pan coś rozumie, jak jest przewrotność? I motto przewodnie: nam nie wolno osądzać, bo sędzią jest Bóg. Mistrzostwo świata. A Kościele, kimże ty jesteś? Kardynał zapomniał, że stoi na szpicy magisterium Kościoła. Masz następować w porę i nie w porę. Zapomniał, że jest Mojżeszem i Aaronem. Jest szczęśliwy, bo mu klaska świat. A komu klaska świat? Ten człowiek co robi? Oddala się od kogo? Od Boga. A jak się oddala od Boga, staje się przyjacielem kogo? Szatana.